Welcome, man. It's your boy VJ here, and I hope everyone had a great day today. But I just want to, speak to y'all today. I was thinking, you know, I was thinking to myself, and I thought about like, you know what? We all have this feeling on why do we do this, why do we do that, right? And why do we push through, or why don't we push through, right? And some of us have heard, what is your why, right? So even for myself, I was thinking, what is my why? What is your why? We have to sit and think, what is our why? Why do we go to the job we hate? Why do we want to work out? Why do we want to lose weight? Why do we want to be wealthy? Why do we want to strive to be great? Why, right? And some people say that if your why is not good enough, if your why is not strong enough, then you'll give up and you'll quit. But to ask yourself, what is your why? If you sit and think about it, it may take you days, weeks, months, years even, for you to realize what your why is. But you have to ask yourself, what is, like, them deep, deep, deep questions, and break it down, bit by bit on, to find out what your true why is, right? And, for me, I'm going to go over, a few things that I said and thought long and hard about, and, I would say, I hate my job, right? I hate my job, but I constantly go to my job, right? Why? Well, financially, right? I go to my job for financially, but my job, it makes me feel anxious about things. It's mentally draining, it's emotionally draining, right? But financially, and I'm one of those people who believe that money isn't everything. Money isn't everything at all, right? But you just gotta keep on. Money isn't everything. So, it's a matter of, it's a matter of, why do I like my job? Why do I hate my job? And the answer to that is, my job, they don't care about people. They don't care about the employees. They treat them like trash. They're not considerate of our lives outside of work. And like I said, I'm only there for the money, right? So it's like, well, if it wasn't for the money, second question, what would I do as a career, right? And I sat and thought about it, and it's like, I would love to do something that I can talk to people. I can be there for people, spread positivity, motivate people, just listen, and somewhere where I can impact other people and show them and be there for them and relate to other people that I came from a troubled background. I came from a, some would say traumatic, some would say, a poorest background, I had hardships growing up. But if I can make it, other people can make it, especially the youth, right? So, and so even through my job, even in the past, people have always wanted to talk to me. And I haven't really realized that until like a year or so ago, where it was like, I realized that people actually do love to talk to me. And they just want to talk. I'll listen, give my input, we'll go back and forth. And some people say, people are drawn to you. They say people are drawn to you. And it's one of those things where I'm like, not really, I'll just be, but then the more I thought about it, I'm saying people are drawn to me. I've always talked a lot. I've always enjoyed talking. So like, what? My career is something is going to involve me talking to other people, helping other people, relating to other people, giving advice, whether they take it or not, or those hard truths that people need to hear. So, besides that, okay, I like to talk and speak and be there for people, right? So then I have to ask, well, what do I actually like about my job, right? And I do like the conversations. The people that I work with, people I work for, my clients, it's a matter of me talking to them and listening to them, treating them more as people rather than, them being beneath me as some of my employees, or some of my coworkers do. Speaking to them as people and listening to them, helping them get through, talking about real life issues, right? And I enjoy that because sometimes, especially the younger people, knowing that they're listening and they're, the next day they see me, hey, they're like, hey, V, I was, thinking about what you said the other day. I was thinking about A, B, C, and D, and it gives me a sense of, they really was listening. It really stuck with them that something that I told them, or something I asked them. It gives them something to think about, and I like that because it's a two-way street. I learn something, you learn something, excuse me, and that's how I am. I love learning from other people and vice versa, and I love that part. And then, because I do work in law enforcement, so I've asked myself, what is my main objective or purpose of working in law enforcement? And I say I truly want to help people, but then the more I thought about that, it's like, and I want to be there for people and have conversations, and I can de-escalate issues. But the more I thought about that, I said, you know what? I don't have to be in law enforcement to help people. I talk to people, right? Or to be there to protect people and get them through issues, to listen to them. I can do that in many different careers, many different ways, right? That could be a route. I can be there and interact with different people. But I thought about it. I don't need to do that through law enforcement, right? And it's like, whoa. So, and I thought about it. So the main, the main question is, if I truly want to help people in such a way using my voice, then why don't I focus more on that? Why don't I focus more on ways that I can use my voice to help others? In what ways, right? So whatever those ways are, I should put all my focus and energy in that route, rather than going to a job or putting my effort to a job that's demeaning, a job that's mentally draining, emotionally draining, tiresome. I should put my energy and my focus into ways of helping people, doing things that I love to do, right? Excuse me. But that is indeed the $1 million question, right? Why I'm not focusing more on that? And so the last question is, who am I doing this for? Myself, my family, money, status, respect, right? And, like I said before, I have that feeling that I did grow up without much, unstable unstable environment. And so, I grew up around a lot of drug addicts, I've seen domestic violence. I witnessed it firsthand. I've seen, being, we was latchkey kids, those who know what that is. And I just knew that I wanted to be stable. I wanted stability. I wanted more. So, I wanted to go to school for law. I knew I liked to talk. And as I went to school for law, I kind of more so was like in the policing, the law enforcement side in college. And plus it was stable, So, but then I realized, stability is everything. I mainly want stability. But then at the same time, it's by me growing up not having certain things, I never want to feel that way again. Most of my life, I've had 2-3 jobs because I knew, why not, right? I don't want to be without. Nobody wants to be without, right? So it was, why not do that? Why not work those 2 jobs? Why not grind? Now, I tell myself this is years past, and this current job has got me more complacent, but I used to always be on my grind, and now it's harder for me to focus. Now it's harder for me to, and I got complacent, and I'm not, I have to grind, things like that, but this is when I should be grinding. To refocus myself, right? Again, and I was saying, I never wanted to go without. If I want everything I want and need in this life, I'm going to grind for it. I'm going to push for it. I'm going to push for it. Do whatever it is I got to do to get what I want to have, right? Tired of struggling, tired of needing and wanting for everything. We're capable of gaining anything that we want in this world. You just got to work for it, right? And then, I just want to do something that I truly love to do. And that's, connecting with people, listening to people, helping people in the best way I know how. And I've always helped people just by talking to them and just being kind. You know what I'm saying? Just being kind. I'm not trying to push anything on them. Just listening, being a good person. That's always been just me. And that comes back. I do believe in karma. I do believe in positive energy. You give positive energy, you receive positive energy, right? So, and a part of me is that, I want to have a positive impact on this world. I want to help others. So my wife also, I'm doing things for other people because I know if I make it, you can make it. I can show you what I've been through. I can tell you what I've been through. I can share my story. We all have a story to tell, right? So I'm doing it for others as well, right? So, to wrap this up though, what's your why? You really got to break down what's your why. What's your why? Why do you do the things? Why do you do the things you do? Why you put yourself through those hard times or through those bad situations? Why? And you really got to think about, is it worth it? Because sometimes it's not worth it, right? Or sometimes we're not doing it for our why. Or we don't know what our why truly is, right? So, I've gotten a base of what my why is. I'm still, digging deeper, but for myself, I had to write this down and kind of fully, dig into it. And I want to do some more, but each and every day, I want to dig deeper and deeper and learn about myself. But at the same time, I want to talk to others as well, I want to help others as well. And that's what I want to do. So, man, this your boy VJ. You have a good night. God bless. And take it easy. Peace.